Michael.
Bobby D. It's not Tough Talk Tuesdays, but it's Wilding Out Wednesdays. Whatever it is, we're here.
I got to get a new banner. Because we're going to probably do a lot of Tuesdays/Wednesdays.
Yeah, we're just Wilding Out Wednesdays or Tough Talk Tuesdays. Either way, we're shooting from the hip.
And people don't care. Like if they watch. They watch on Tuesday. They watch on Wednesday. Oh, they won't watch it all, and who gives a shit about them anyway?
Yeah, we're building, bro. I love it.
How was your weekend, brother?
My weekend was pretty good. It was active, kept real busy. But wait, talk about weekends. Before I about to get to my weekend,
All
like
right.
I see you on Facebook, I see you posting. You're all over the place, and that's one thing I gotta tell you. I'm so impressed with that because I'm trying to find the time to, like, where do you find the time? Because you give yourself to everybody. Like you're big on really being around your friends, your family. You give time to your girl. Like, how do you talk to me about how you manage your time? Because I'm horrible at it.
Well, I appreciate that. I do make a conscious effort to try and be present in people's lives. And it's hard. As obviously, the more people we both know a lot of people.
Yeah.
So it's difficult. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I'll get a text like, "Oh, bro, you were in Bayonne and you didn't say hello."
Right.
Bro, when I went to Florida early in the year,
I'm
I
listening.
I got hit. I got hit like with 10 texts. Like, dude, why don't you tell me you were here? And I didn't even know that they were in Florida. Like, there
Oh
was
my God. Yeah.
no idea. Like, so to your point, I do try to be present, and I believe you know me, man. I'm a relationship guy, and not just from a perspective. People might they start laughing. Oh, bro. I mean relationships of all kinds. I'm not just talking about relationship with you,
Right.
but I believe in friendships. And I believe in equality, and in order to build relationships, you got to spend time with people.
Yeah.
Now,
No.
how do I make it happen? It's not easy. It's not easy. It helps that the business that I'm in, I'm self-employed, right? I've been self-employed my whole life.
Yes.
So I can make my own schedule. I'm in the business where I could do a transaction, anytime I want. And because of the residual side of it too, there's a residual aspect of both businesses. Obviously, my financial business there is, and of course synergy, what you and
Right.
I are working on building. So I appreciate the question, but I hope I answered it. I try to make a conscious effort of being present in the lives of the people that I care about. You know what I mean?
That's key. I mean, I talk about that a lot, and always, we talk about, it's good to give people presents, but to be in somebody's presence is just to spend that time with them, that quality moments. And I always will reach out to friends over text message, or something. Oh yeah, we got to make time to get together, and then it never happens.
It does.
Day to day life comes up, and that's why I think we're both. For me, I have to be one on one with all my clients, which is kind of tough to just say, hey, you know what, I want to split because if I don't show up to work, I don't get paid. But that's
Right.
why I'm really big on the synergy end of the business where we have that residual income coming in little by little, we build it up. So you could take that time where I think that's where I'm trying to push the business, a little bit harder, a little faster, in a good note, in a good way.
Of course, yeah. Oh, listen,
Building relationships there.
when you're doing something like you say, you're grinding and you're pushing, and your stuff is really good. It's different if you're selling some snake oil, if you're trying to push an agenda,
Right.
that's not really parallel with that person's lives. There's a lot of people that push shit that really doesn't jive,
Right.
doesn't sync with the other person, but they'll try and push it anyway. I mean, what are we doing? We're trying to show people how to be healthy in the worst times in our lifetime as far as a health and fitness.
Yeah.
America's a disaster. We
it's
give
it's
all
it's
these-
frustrating. It really is frustrating for me because when I talk to people, and I think you're the same way. We give 100% of ourselves to somebody, and I'll give them 100%. And a lot of times, like, I'll do out these diet plans and these nutritional consultations, and I should be charging for the hour that I spend with that person talk about, and I don't. I just say, here, I want you to try the products, and most of the times I give them the product to try,
Yeah.
and they're still reluctant to really try it or do it. And it blows my mind how people have been so, I guess, taken advantage throughout the years, and they're so reluctant to do something. And we have a lot of concrete information, a lot of concrete things that we can back everything we do and say up with. And it still seems like America, the general population, it's a hard sell when it should be an easy sell. We talk about, I talked to the detox that I just did, and for example, for me, now I have a clean diet. I have a really clean lifestyle. Once in a while, I'll have a drink from time to time. I love my tequila from time to time. That's fair. But besides that, I eat super clean. I'm practically vegetarian, right? I have fish, and that's about it, right? But for the most part, I went and did this detox, and I don't want to sound disgusting, but I was still surprised that things were coming out of my system that I was like, what the hell am I holding on to? So my message to people is like, if my body's holding on to that, what do you think your body might be holding on to?
Yeah.
You got to get that crap out of you, because people get stuck. Well, I want to lose a couple extra pounds, but if you don't clean the inside out first, all the cardio you do, all the workout that you do, it's not going to benefit you unless you're putting the right nutrients in your system. You're going to feel sluggish. You're going to feel tired, and you want to make sure you're working on all cylinders. And for some reason, I don't understand. People want that quick fix. People want the magic tool. And I think I talked about this a while with you. Before COVID hit, I was out there doing talks, and I had this one talk, and we're talking about, people were talking about, the plus size models, and there shouldn't be body shaming and all that stuff. And I was on stage talking. I said, you know what? I'm not here to body shame anybody, because I don't want to do that. But however, let me throw something at you. And I said, I'm going to give you this pill, and I'm going to tell you, if you take this pill for the next 10 days, you're going to go from a size 12 to a size 4. Who's not taking the pill? Everybody in the audience was like, I'll fucking take the pill. Everybody because they want the quick fix. But when I tell them, no, well, with that pill, you have to work out every day. Right. You have to train 3 days a week, and you have to do cardio for 45 minutes in between those days as well. Oh, wait, no. So my point was saying, don't tell me you're happy within your body. If you're willing to take this pill to get you from a size 12 to a 4, then you're really not happy. Right. You just kind of gave up on life, saying, I don't want to work that hard. That's right. Let me pretend like I'm happy with my body, because you can't be. Nobody can really be happy with that. I'm sorry. People might say they are, but deep down, when they're home alone and they close the doors and they're in the bathroom and they're looking in the mirror, they're not. I've talked to thousands of people, and they lie to themselves to make them. It's no different from a drug addict to say that, I got this under control, or an alcoholic to say, I got this under control. It's no different. You don't have it under control. You need a step plan. Hey, you know what? We have a step plan. I have a step plan for them. Yeah. Whether they want to execute it, it's entirely up to them. I can't sit there and force feed them all day long, but I can give them the right tools. And that's what blows my mind, is that some people just don't want to do the little work that it takes, and it will change the course of their life. I tell anybody, and I'm sure you do the same thing. You give me a year of your life, which is not much. I know it sounds like a lot, but it's not much. And I promise you, I will change it for the better. I will change it for the better, health-wise, the way you feel, the way you're walking around right now. We can make you feel better. I mean, we're going to make you feel a lot better within a year. But by the end of the year, you're going to turn around and say, how did I get here? How did I change my train of mind, my thinking? Everything is just totally changed for the better. Right. For the better. It's tough.
It's like you said, people justify. They make excuses. And listen, it's not a shaming thing. It's called the reality. Here's the reality, Mike. Obesity is probably the worst disease one can face.
Yeah.
Because it leads to all the others.
Mm-hmm.
So when we get angry or we get frustrated, it's not we're saying, oh, you look ugly, or you might listen.
No.
There are a lot of good-looking overweight people. There are. I mean, and they might be quote unquote beautiful to their significant other, themselves. But the reality is, inside, you're not beautiful. Inside, your heart is stressed, right? Your immune system is like nonstop.
Battling every day.
Working every day to fight the inflammation. Inflammation is the number one cause of disease, right?
Yeah, of course.
Everything is inflamed when you're obese. So that's what we're talking about. We're not picking on you. We're saying,
no.
Because if you're obese And then you start to get to our age. You start to get into your 50s and you're carrying that extra 25, 30 pounds of meat. Oh boy. In a hurry, shit starts to go south. All of a sudden, you got this test that you're going for. All of a sudden, the blood test came back. Doctor wants to call you. Hey man, I don't like your A1C. You know, your triglycerides are a little high. Your this enzymes are off, right? And then all of a sudden, you're like, all right, and then you get to your mid 50s, and then you go, all right, I'm gonna fix this now, bro. It's hard to fix shit.
Hard. And now, sure, you know, our hormone levels have dropped. Everything's different from when we were in our 50s and 30s. You know, it's funny. Back in 2007, there was guidelines for what a fit person should be body fat percentage wise. So a fit male, somebody who's in shape. I don't say fit. I should say safe, but a healthy male. Forget I said fit. Sorry about that. But a healthy male should be between 12 and 18% body fat. This is 2007. They changed it then. I'll tell you why in a minute. A healthy female should be between 18 and 24%. What happened was, we know as Americans, the obesity level is really high. So what they did is they said, we can't do this because, again, the whole body shaming, let's be nice to people. Let's do the averages. Forget about the healthy. Let's do the averages. And we know obesity is at the opposite end. There's more obese people than there are fit people, or healthy people, I should say. So when they do the averages, now everything's twice as much.
Yeah.
So when I do somebody's body fat percentage, I'm gonna say, listen, back in 2007, the College of Sports Medicine, this is what they said. This is what the colleges said. This is what the health professionals said. A healthy person should be, a healthy male should be between 12 and 18, healthy female between 18 and 24. You're at the high 20s and into the 30s. Most people I do are in the 30s. So they say, am I obese? Technically, yes, you are. I'm sorry. But you might not look obese. You might look like you're fine. I see that girl, I see that man. They look fine. They don't look like they're fat because they look like everybody else. But that doesn't make it okay. And I get passionate for it because it's not healthy. I don't want to see people walking around there. Because I know the quality of life you can have. People say, well, Mike, you've been healthy your whole life. I said, shut your mouth, because you don't know me my whole life. You don't know that I grew up in a pizzeria and I stuffed my face with meatball parmesan, sausage, peppers, and onions, calzones, pizzas all day long. And I was 230 pounds after I played football and wrestling season was over. I'm 230 pounds. I went to go to work with my sister and she said, you're not working for me. You're too fat. I don't care how much you know. Nobody's going to listen to you. So I changed my diet. I changed my tone. I stopped eating that crap and I started being more healthy. And it wasn't until I took all that weight off that I was able to say, I know the difference.
Yeah.
So when people say to me, you don't know what it's like, I'm like, no, you don't understand. I do know what it's like. But I'm more afraid of going back to that than anything else. Because I know how I felt, even at my early ages, even my teens and early 20s. Like, I knew what I felt like. I felt like crap then. And now that you're older, you want to be able to be vibrant and exciting, and you want to have this energy. And I want to keep blowing and going until I'm like, till it's 2 o'clock in the morning if I have to go.
Yeah.
You should be tired and lethargic. You shouldn't be. You should. And I try my best to kind of promote that healthy lifestyle. Some people take my passion for arrogance, but I'm sorry if they do, because it's a passion, it's a love. Because I give more than if I had to put $1 to all the time I spent with people, I would be getting minimum wage, even less than that. Because I don't care about the money, I care about the results that people get, and it really affected people's lives. And again, I'm not here to promote my own business. People can call me up and I'll give them the advice. I'll tell them where to get the products from. And, our percentage is so small that we really, we're making from it. We more or less want to affect the mass numbers of people.
Yeah.
And it's crazy how people just don't listen.
And now
I want to shake. Sometimes I just want to shake somebody. I'm like, dude, I want the best for you, but it's crazy.
There's a lot of wanting to shake going on in this country for a lot of reasons, not just health. There's the country's probably in the worst state in our lifetime, and in every category. We're paying 7.5%. We got 7.5% inflation. Boy, I would not be comfortable if you're sitting in the market. You should reach out to me. You really should. Wink, wink, because things are looking really glim. Our foreign situation going on.
Oh God,
mess. Southern border a mess. Crime at an all-time. Criminals we had this week. We learned that a dude raped a 10-year-old.
Oh my God, I saw that.
And is basically doing like 2 years in a juvenile. A 26-year-old is doing. I mean, what's going? The country's in rough shape.
It's horrible.
What we're trying to do is just be a little, like we talk. We say we're tough talk, but we're also trying to instill some motivation
and common sense to people. Like, think about what you think about what you're hearing. Think about what's going on. Really, if you make that common sense approach, and the more I'm talking about, I gotta be honest with you, like, I'm not the most intelligent guy. I don't have this big elaborate college degree and all that stuff. I don't have that. But one thing I could tell you is that common sense, I learned, outweighs more for than book sense, and I'll stand by that. My parents beat that into my head, and I truly believe that, because I've sat down with some super intelligent people, and after I finished them, I was like,
stupid.
How is it that they have succeeded in some areas of life and failed in so many others? Like, it baffles my mind. I'll go into a doctor's office. No lie, I went to a doctor's office yesterday because I'm trying to find some remedies for my knee. And I'm sitting there. I'm sitting in the doctor's office, and this lady comes in and starts talking to me about how I'm out of alignment, and this is the reason why my knees are fucked up, and this and that. So I'm letting her go on. Then she's talking to me about different procedures I can get done to my knee. This PRP is plasma replacement therapy. I said, I did that already. I did. It was $750 a shot, and it doesn't work because it's cartilage. And I did my research, and it can work on ligaments and tendons, but not really so much on cartilage. And she just sat there like baffled. Well, the way we do it here is a little different. I'm like, well, PRP is PRP. It's no different. And then she said, well, maybe it's your diet. Now I had a jacket on. No, I swear to you, Bob, I had a jacket on. So I was like, oh, it's getting hot in here. So I take my jacket off, and I had one of my, my form-fitted shirts on. I take my jacket off and I put it down. And now this lady, that's a doctor, is probably about, no lie, a good 60 pounds overweight. Literally 60 pounds. This doctor was 60 pounds overweight. So she says, well, let me explain to you what you should be eating and what you should be taking into your system. So I drove about an hour to this doctor, and I wanted to lose my shit, but I just let her talk, right? And I was like, let her talk. She's telling me all about the different supplements I should be taking. I'm like, well, let me give you a rundown what I take. And I started talking to her about Pro-Arginine, right? And I started talking to her. She said, oh, yeah, I'm well aware of that. Oh, you are? Well, what does it do? She couldn't really answer it, right? Because she was bullshit. She didn't even know. So then I said, well, I went through the whole thing that it creates a nitric oxide blast, and what it does, the plasma replacement does. It helps you reproduce your blood cells. It gets them stronger, more supple. It opens up your vessel. I went through the whole fucking thing with her. Like, it was crazy. Yeah. And she sat there and didn't listen to a word I said.
Of course not.
And I said, can I tell you something? You wasted my time.
Yeah.
I said, I drove up here an hour. You told me, you sold me this thing online and I was talking to her online. So I thought she was sounded very intelligent. I said, you know what? This might be it. Because, I have severe arthritis in my knees. My knees killed me all the time. So I wanted some relief. And then she told me how I could probably get relief through my diet. And I swear, I was, because if you saw this lady, you'd be like, she looked like Jabba the Hutt. Wow. I'm like, she's really sitting here talking to me about this right now.
And blown away. And herein lies the problem in our country today.
Because you're right. I know you're about to say she's going to talk to about 1,000 other people. How many? And they're going to listen to her because she has a doctorate degree.
She's the expert.
Right.
She's the expert. So look what goes on in our country today. The CDC are the medical experts. The CDC, who's basically changed the goalpost 15 different times with COVID. Right? Yeah. Dr. Flucci. With the every other week, the masks don't work. Wear 2 masks. Oh, we got what the fuck are we doing? Like, how do we have faith in anyone that is the expert in America today? Take any subject you want. How about the financial experts?
Right.
Listen to them. By the way, 2008, when the stock market crashed. You find me one expert that saw that coming. Find me one guy on CNBC or Fox Business that said, oh, this thing's going to crash. Find me one. You won't. But they're the experts, the health experts.
Drives me insane.
Experts. How about this? the political experts, the media, political analysts say, I mean, who the fuck do you listen to today? Here's what you do.
Well,
You do
what is
you do your own shit.
well the media is driven by funds. The media is here to they feed off of
Of course they do.
negative information because they know we as Americans love to hear negativity. You tell me the last time you put on the news and they talked about something positive,
It's the
something
last story.
uplifting,
Usually the last
something
story in the
inspirational.
It's the
It's
last
never
one.
that. Right. It's
The
like
last one.
and we want to talk about doctors. If you talk about doctors, Bob, their thing is what? When they make a mistake, they say, well, we're just practicing medicine. We're just practicing because that's their liability clause, right? But they're practicing on us. So when are we going to wake up as a whole saying to ourselves, wait a minute, there's enough information that we can research ourselves, whether we can do it online or we can go down to a library and we have all the information right then and there to prove everything most of these doctors say is off the wall wrong. Probably more than 70% of them are off the wall wrong because one, they have things in their pocket that are getting funded. They're getting tons of money getting funded. It's no different from the dairy industry. The dairy industry paid doctors at one point to say milk does the body good. Well, newsflash, it doesn't do the body good. It causes tons of inflammation. It's the worst thing you can put in your system. But people believe it made your bones strong. People today still think, well, what do you do to make your bones strong? I'm like, are you joking me right now?
Yeah.
You still, it's like telling people like, I tell people like, and I know people still do, like, you still buy deli meat? Like, you know how bad that is for you?
Yeah.
Like, I know people do it because I see the lines, but I'm saying, really? At this day and age, where you're supposed to be that educated somewhat to know that deli meat's not good. Burger King, McDonald's not good. That crap's not good for you. But you still have these people in droves online cutting off course traffic just to get online for McDonald's. But like, you realize what you're doing to your body until it's too late. And then we talk about what people do in every aspect of life, not just health and fitness, but even if you look at any industry, anything, whether it's law enforcement, whether it's the armed forces, whatever we talk about, we manage by crisis. Something happens, and then we do something instead of being proactive and saying, hey, you know what?
Right.
Let's do something before it happens. And just in case it happens, we're prepared. We're kind of prepared.
It's like,
we're ready for it.
It's a great point because when we talk about pro-arginine, the beauty of pro-arginine is that it covers everyone. People say, well, can it help me? The question is, do you have blood? Does your body have blood going on inside of it? It does? Yeah. Then would you like to oxygenate that blood? Would you like to soften your pathways so your circulation is better? Would you like to increase blood flow to the extremities? And would you like to do that? Yeah, well, the pro-arginine will help you. And then you'll get the person, I'm in good shape. Well, about, Mike, 300,000 sudden heart attacks a year happen in America. 300,000, and there are zero symptoms. Zero. Yeah. Do you know, Mike, a third of them are superior athletes?
Yeah, I know.
So that would be like you saying to me, "Oh, I don't need pro-arginine. I eat great. I do this. I do that."
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. What happens is most of people don't understand is when it happens, when they finish the workout or when they finish activity or right at the peak part of their activity. Why? Is because that's when the blood is pumping fast through your system. And when it can't get through faster, what does it do? That's when it gets that clog. That's when that cap over that cholesterol thing bursts. And now you got a fucking heart attack. And it's too late. And yeah, it is an athlete because there's plenty of guys out there that still don't eat right, that still don't do the right thing. That, you know what? Even me, I just got finished telling you, I did a detox. I thought I was super healthy. I saw the things that are coming out of my system. Like, where is this coming from? How's my body holding on to this? When, listen, I turned into, not eating red meat and chicken, not because I was the hormones they put in the animals, not because of the way they killed the animals. I'll break it down for the audience real easy. It takes your body about 8 hours to digest a piece of red meat. That's going to slow down your metabolism, and that's going to help you slow down your metabolism. It's going to cause your heart to work harder. It's going to, cause tons of inflammation to your system. So I said to myself, this was young. I said, well, I don't want that. I mean, I like it, love the way it tastes, but for me, that's not good for me because I need to be able to get something processed through my system fast. And when I'm working out and I still have that meat in my system, and I'm like, oh my God, I don't feel like it's slowing me down. So that was easy to get away with. Chicken takes about 6 hours. It's still slowing down my metabolism. It's still slowing me down. Still not passing through my digestive tract quick enough. For me, I said, I want something that's going to get quicker. So getting through my system quicker. So I looked at fish. Fish is about 2 hours. In and out, great. I'll do that. So I have fish all the time. So I'm eating things that are going to break down in my system quick because I don't want anything that I'm eating to slow down my metabolism. It's going to slow down the process of what's going on inside me. Now, with that, all that being said, I did a detox and shit was still coming out of me. And I've been eating like this since 91.
Tell me about the detox. Is this specific?
Well, the 14 days. It's 14 days, right? We do body cleanse. The body cleanse, not detox. Body cleanse.
You talk about the synergy product, the cleanse.
The synergy product, yeah. So I did that for 14 days. It comes in a package. It's like 6 pills. I took it right before my biggest meal of the day. So I take it right at the biggest meal of the day. And that's it. It's once a day.
Isn't it a powder, Mike, or
no? It comes in pills.
Really?
Yeah, 6 pills. Very small and easy to digest. I also use the calorie burner too, which is more like it gives you more energy.
Okay.
It helps you metabolize your food better.
At what point?
I take this first thing in the morning.
First thing.
I take it in the morning, and then I take it again. With another big meal, and that's it. Just twice a day. Sometimes only once a day. The biggest thing is people always ask me when do you take your Pro Arginine? For me, again, I'm about performance. Yeah. Anybody, a regular person, can take it almost any time of the day. But if you're gonna perform and you're gonna work out every day, I'll take it 15 to 20 minutes before my workout.
Yeah.
Then I'll take another one immediately after the workout.
Oh.
Why is that? That's because number one, it's gonna do its magic. The nitric oxide blast is gonna go through your system. So I drink that as it opens up my veins, capillaries, and arteries, and the blood's flowing greatly through my system, and the oxygen's getting to the muscle that I just got finished working, that I just got blowing out. It's working really well now. Now I go to take my protein supplement, and remember I talked about a couple weeks ago about protein synthesis.
Yeah.
It breaks down the protein, and it takes the protein and puts it to the exact where it has to go to repair the muscle. So I'm getting a double bang from it. So it's getting more of the protein I just ingested into the right areas of my body so I can perform better. And my body can recover better, not just performing. So I'm recovering better. So it's not like I'm beating myself up. I'm like, oh, I'm sore for a couple of days. I'm not sore for a couple of days anymore. I'm maybe a little muscle, fatigue the next day, but I can get it right up and go and work out the next day, with another type of workout routine. Again, it's the way I take it and how often I take it that is really benefiting me. Like, it's night and day. We're talking about 52, and I'm really feel like besides my knees, with the arthritic knees, I'm performing like I did when I was in my 30s. And I'm not here to. And it's not just me. I have clients that are doing the same thing, that are getting the same results. I'm having people that I just talk to, tell them how to take it, and they're getting the same results. So it's you want to do a clinical test, you want to do, clinical, we're doing it right now. I'm doing it on everybody I train, making them take a packet right after they work out. Their recovery is better. They're feeling more energy. They're not as sore and fatigued the next day. They can go back and be active without feeling, oh my God, my muscles are tight, they're achy. There's none of that. And I train people hard. So people are getting trained hard. So it's not like, we're doing light little fluffy foo-foo workouts. They're really giving it their all. And you have guys and women alike that are performing 15 years younger. Can't emphasize it enough. It's important not only that you're taking it, it's when you're taking it is very key as well. Very important when you're taking it.
So when Kelly asked a good question. I know. Have you tried E9, the E9 supplement? Have you tried that yet?
I did try it. I did try it. It's good, but there's a lot of good products out there. Yeah. I can't put everything in my system. I'm not doing everything. It just is. It is what it is. I do my Pro Arginine. Yeah. I have my Vitazones. I do the Mystica drink, and I also do my omega 3s.
Omega 3s. So
I'm solid with that.
what's the cleanse cost, Mike? It
Oh my
said
God.
it's 14 packets.
Yeah, I think it's only like $30, $31 or something like that.
And the
It's a
calorie
joke. I gotta tell you, it's a joke. The caliber is like, I think like 15. I think $15. I don't even know how much it was, like $20 or something like that for the bottle. Listen, I've heard all these other cleanses. Some of these cleanses cost hundreds of dollars. Ridiculous. And I've tried a few of them. Nothing did what this one did, I gotta tell you. But you gotta stay diligent. I mean, you want to eat clean. You can keep your regular diet per se, but I'd like to see somebody's regular diet first.
Yeah.
And I'll let you know if they need to clean it up a little bit.
Right.
Because I do that too. I don't really try to tell people. Sometimes it's not just what you're eating; it's when you're eating what you're eating too. Just like anything else.
Exactly.
It's like, okay, I can't make somebody say don't have steak, but if you're gonna have that red meat, I'd say have it in the afternoon rather than having it at nighttime when your body's ready to shut down and slow down. Because now you got your digestive tract is even going even slower gear. So have it during the daytime, middle of the day, not at nighttime if you're going to have it. If you have to, if it's like, I need to have my red meat, well, you need to get a heart attack too, but whatever. I would have it in the daytime rather than have it at the later end. At the later end of the day, you should be eating super light. Something's going to get through your system real fast.
Kelly makes a good point. And Kelly's an awesome rep. She's up in the Boston area. She talks funny. You know how those people are.
Oh, I love that accent.
Yeah. She loves the E9 for pre-workout, and it is what I do, Mike. I don't have E9 every day. E9 has caffeine. It's got the taurine in it. It's a big B12 booster.
Mm-hmm.
I'll mix it with my Pro Arch sometimes, and what I'll do instead of doing the whole thing, I'll maybe do like a half of it. And it tastes amazing. It tastes like a pina colada. So it actually, for those that might not like, some people don't like the taste of Pro Arch. I don't know why.
Right.
It's terrific to me. But the E9 adds a boost. And I just checked. The cleanse is $30.
I thought it was like 31, something like that. Yeah.
And if you get it, if you subscribe to it, it's 10% lower. So that's what, 27 and free shipping.
It's crazy. Crazy.
It's $27.
There's only one thing I wish that Synergy had. Only one product I wish they had. You can't, anybody who's working out, anybody who's living, they should be taking 5 to 10 grams a day.
Yeah, you said that.
I'm big on it. I'm way big on it. Why? It helps with brain function.
Yeah.
It helps with brain function, helps with really muscle recovery, repair. And you want to talk about like performing better. You're struggling getting, I'm a big rep guy. So I want to get, 16, 18, 20 reps for my and lift heavy. Not just lift little weights, but I want to lift heavy and get those extra reps. And you need that creatine extra boost because it's going to help a better performing muscle. It's going to help, we get it's something called sarcopenia, whereas the breakdown of your muscles as you get older. That, even if you didn't work out, will help the muscle sustain. They found that out, even guys 60, 70, and 80-year-old, that with the creatine upload, they have, slowed down that muscle breakdown period. So that's clinical test. You can Google that till the day comes on. I mean, there's more stuff on creatine than you can never imagine.
Let me ask you.
When I'm taking my arginine and the creatine and it hits my system, I'm telling you, I'm having my best lift days ever.
So you do the creatine before the workout as well?
Yeah, I do 5 grams before.
Okay.
And then not usually not right after, because I'm doing some couple things afterwards. So maybe like an hour or 2 hours later or something like that. I'll do another. That's only on my heavy lift days. If I'm doing just cardio days, I don't do that. It's only 5 grams.
Okay. So is it critical though when you take it, or can it be taken anytime?
It can be taken anytime.
Okay.
I like to take it before my workouts. It could be as long as you have it uploaded in your system.
Yeah.
If it's not always in your system, you're gonna feel that depletion. You want to have a positive nitrogen balance going on in your system the whole time. You don't want to have this up and down in your system. You want to have it nice and flatlining all the time. You want to always have your body running, all the pistons working right, greased, oil ready to go. Yeah. So you don't want to have it down, up, down, up. You just want to stay steady. So just be consistent. It really is taking supplements, being consistent. And you're like, listen, Jack LaLanne, he died, 94 of pneumonia, whatever. But he lived a most healthy lifestyle. His wife talks about how he chased, she said it, without any any pills as far as to get an erection. He was chasing her around the house at 90 years old.
Yeah.
He would get out of the bed and do squats, air squats, and then by got to the door, he was doing chin ups and this is at 94, 3 years old, 92 years old. The only way because he had pneumonia, he passed away, whatever. But either way, and he took about I think it was 70 something vitamins a day he took. So like I wouldn't mind living to 90 something years old.
Yeah. I think I would mind. I don't want to live to 97.
No, I do. I want to be a fucking vampire. Are you kidding me? That's when probably my all my mutual funds will come to. that's what I'm hoping for, dude. I gotta.
We were supposed to have Dan on tonight, but Dan could not make it. Something came up, and he couldn't make it. And I it sucks because I wanted to share, but I will just briefly. You have your website with Dan.
Dan's amazing.
Dan
love Dan.
Site, right?
Dan is amazing. Like, listen, he's. I can call him any time of the day, night. He answers every call. He put the whole website together. I told him, listen, I don't know anything about this kind of crap because you could do 2 different ways with him. I remember what he said. You can I could, let you know how to do it yourself.
Yeah.
Well, I'll do it for you. And the minute the cost was so minimal, I was almost like I was blown away. I mean, he really did it. And I'm about to redo my website again because I want to be more functional. And that's why I was going to actually talk to him about that tonight on air, put him on the spot a little bit because he does amazing work. Like, I love it because, most design guys, like if you try to get in touch with them, you can't find them.
He's the best, man.
He gets back to you within 24 hours, easy. Sometimes even in the next hour.
He does.
So I mean, I love his business. He's got great. He has a great website design program. I love him.
Maybe we'll have him on again in the future to share some of it because his success story is amazing too. The guy went from a crazy lifestyle when he was young. He had a lot of obstacles and end up getting in the internet design business way before it was popular. Like during the era where it was like, what are you doing?
Right.
Doing websites? Like, who has websites?
Websites, right?
Internet? What the hell is the internet? So his story is fantastic. But I wanted to give him a plug because if you are listening and you have a business, even if you don't have a business, and you want a site done for like an amazing price and top quality, there's just nobody better. I mean, like you said, you hit it on the head. Like, of course, listen, you get what you pay for. If you want a low-end budget thing, then you'll get a low-end budget site. But it'll be the best low-end budget site you ever got. If you want a high-end site, you will get the best site that you can imagine for probably about 70% cheaper than you think. So discuss about Dan if you're
well, I'm because you introduced me to him many years ago. And because I was baffled about websites, didn't have a clue. I had a couple people work on them, and I'm telling you, they ripped me off. I mean, I told them what happened to me during my, because I was turned off by him. I was like, I'm never doing a fucking website because it was just a big turnoff.
Man, a lot of crooks.
I'm like, I don't need that. And then he just set me straight. I was like, I was more than pleased with everything he did. I was like, this can't be true. I was waiting for the catch. I was waiting for something too good to be true, and it really was his. It's not too good to be. He's perfect what he does.
Yeah. So, man, this is good, bro. I think this is a real good. I like the fact that we got into some specifics with the scheduling, must-haves on a daily basis, pro arch. Now, this cleanse, you're going to do this like every month, every other month?
No, 14 days. Maybe I might not do it for another 6 months. I'll do 14 days, and it's because it reboots your whole body.
Okay.
It reboots your body. It gets all that crap out. So now, let's see how your body performs. That's what I'm doing with a lot of people. I'm like, okay, let's cleanse you. Let's see how your body performs. Let's see the weight loss. Let's see the body fat, but not weight loss. I'm sorry. I don't care how much you weigh on a scale.
Right.
I do a body fat analysis on you. I'll do a skin fold where I'm going to pinch different sites of your body. For a woman, it's your tricep, your waistline, and your thigh. Men, it's your chest, your waist, and also your thigh. And I'm going to take those numbers, I put them together, and I find out exactly how much, or about how much body fat. I could be off by a percentage or two. But then I'll take that body fat percentage again 6 weeks later. And in 6 weeks, after the cleanse, after you're working out on the right program, Those numbers, no matter what, should be dropping. And then we'll do it again another 4 or 5 weeks from there to make sure those numbers are dropping. And if everything's going well, then we're good. And if it's not, then maybe we need to reboot your body again. But it's on a basis of let's see how you're performing, let's see how you're feeling, and go from there. Remember, you got to clean your system out. It's like going for an oil change. You're gonna have a car. Every 3,000, 5,000 miles, you got to get an oil change, or something bad's gonna happen. So I believe I know that's what the cleanse is doing. It's kind of giving you that oil change, helping you get, that synthetic, nice, beautiful oil back in your system. You're putting all the right nutrients in your system again. Your body's able to absorb them because there's nothing holding you back. And then you go on your way, you see your results, and then you can go hit it again if you have to.
I got some breaking news, Mike.
What's that? Oh, there he is.
I'm so sorry. I was sound asleep.
Oh, I'm sorry for waking you up.
You know what it was I woke up early and I was thinking this morning, should I have L-arginine? And I didn't have it. So my day was at 82% where it should have been 100%. And that was a thing. So you have to excuse me. I'm still waking up. And the L-arginine is still being processed in my system because I just had a shot of it.
He's such a wise ass.
Is he the wisest ass?
He's a wise ass.
What's up, brother?
I just woke up and I texted him like, holy shit, 9 o'clock. But I figured the two of you are long in the tooth and would talk more than half an hour, because half an hour is really not enough to explain the benefits of living till 110 on L-arginine.
Fucking guy.
We're talking about your business. We were just bragging about you. I don't know if you caught us.
No, I literally just woke up. I'm so sorry. I got up like 4 o'clock this morning. I have a couple customers that are just all over me for different things, and I have a pharmacist customer that and I never outsource work. I never outsource. I've worked with companies all over the world. People always say, oh, don't, I work with India, I work with Pakistan, this, but there's a pharmacist company that's an international pharmacist company I've been doing a lot of work for. And there's a guy overseas that I work for, it's 12 hours ahead of me, that actually does a lot of work for me. He's a young guy. He's got his master's degree in computer science. So I have to talk to him like 4 o'clock in the morning. So that's why I was up early. Besides being up early, excited to be on this amazing show.
So yeah, we just talked about how you did the site for Mike and how we feel your sites. If you want a low end site, it's the best you can get. If you want a high end site, you're not gonna get a more economical site. But don't be humble. Like talk about
like everything in life. I always tell everyone, and my kids, and I tell everyone that I used to always say like, oh, I've got a great idea. I'm not going to tell anyone because you'll steal it. Now I realize, with doing this for 23 years, no one's going to steal an idea because they're too lazy.
Right.
So now I said, let me give you a roadmap on how to make money.
Right.
Because no one's ever going to do it. They're too lazy. So, I've worked 7 days a week for 23 years, but I'm very, very, very lucky that I love what I do. So there's these companies out there that build websites for $5,000, $6,000, $7,000. They're local companies, and they're all over the world. And they take a month or two, but they have 7 or 8, 9, 10 meetings to make it go through just to justify the cost, which is just silly. So now I said, look, what if I built a $5,000 website for $8.99? I don't know why $8.99 seems to be the sweet spot. I've tried all the different prices, but it seems to be the sweet spot. So I'll build you a website for $8.99. I'll have it done in 7 days, and I'll make it look like you can tell people you spent $10,000 on. No one's going to think twice about it. And then there you go. Because having a bad website is having a business with broken windows, the paint falling down. You walk in and the place smells, and there's rats running around, and the person serving you food has dirty fingernails. That's what a bad website is. And people used to not realize it, but they're really realizing it, that you have maybe a second and a half before someone hits your website and leaves. So if someone goes to your website and it's terrible, they're just going to leave. That's it. You've lost their business. And a click to get that person to your website as a car dealer may cost you $100, $120 a click to get. If I pay for an ad, it may cost me $7 to get someone to come to my website. And I do pay for ads. So that website better be perfect, you know, and that's for everyone. So, and I got mentioned the email, over 20% of all clicks, Google, Bing, Yahoo, Facebook, are fraudulent clicks. Fraud. They're either from clickbot farms to fill out forms. You have a website. You guys both have websites. You know, you fill out. You constantly get these forms like, "Hey, here's my sexy picture. Hi, buy crypto." This is just bots. There's just bots filling out forms. That's all they are, because it's easier than spamming you, because bots can fill out a form and get through to you. Or they're click farms from your competitors. So there's lots of companies out there. One I use called clickseas.com. It's $49 a month, $59 if you want to block the Facebook ads, the bad ones. They'll track bad IPs and block them from actually clicking your ads. So if you spend $1,000 a month on ads, which is not a lot, you got to figure $200 to $250 a month thrown away on bad ads. I mean, that's across the board, and people don't realize that. So, I spent $1,000 on ads. That's insane that they're giving away 20 to 25% on bad clicks. I'm guessing 95% of your audience doesn't know that, maybe 98%, because I'm saying 95, 98% of people have no idea. I talk to people all the time. I have a guy in Florida. I do a screen website. He's on one of my samples. He sells screens, screening in porch and screening in pools, so on and so forth. He spends a little over $2,000 a month on ads, and I manage his ads for him. And he's about $570 a month saving from click fraud.
Wow.
That's just throwing away money. And Google they don't care. I mean, you could talk to them, but you're talking to someone overseas.
Yeah.
That's why I do everything myself, except for like this pharmacy website, just farm a little bit out. But 99% of all the work I do by hand. And people say, "What do you do? Are you WordPress? Are you doing this?" I do it in literally something called Notepad Plus. It's just Notepad. If you open up Notepad, I just hand code it all because I have most control over it. I feel most comfortable in that instead of doing it some sort of a program. But Mike's had a website with me forever. And Mike, first time talking to you live. I've talked to you many times online.
Yep.
In my next life, I'm going to grow up and be half the stud you are. And then, but Mike's got a great website, but he's got a member section. So for example, Mike had a website with one of my company's Tip Top website where he built it himself. And then when website Dan launched a couple of years ago, I said, let me redo Mike's website. I didn't even tell him, didn't even ask him.
He didn't. You did everything for nothing.
A $10,000 site because I love Mike. And then boom, there it is. And you have to sometimes people say, well, how can you make money doing that? I go, are you insane? You could use him as a sample. If Mike's one referral is worth $2,500, $3,000 to me versus a $7 click. See, people just trip over themselves being too cheap sometimes. They really do.
Yeah, I was talking about how great, I can call you any time of the day, and I think you get back to me pretty damn quick.
Except for today, Mike, and I apologize for that. But you didn't.
No, I mean it's really I told you, in the past I've had guys and you call them and they don't return your call for weeks at a time, and there's not one time if I had to post a picture or I didn't like a picture, I wanted to change something, you're right on top of it immediately, and I've never had that experience with almost any business that I've been in. Anybody I try to get with the customer service industry, nobody does that what you do. Nobody does what you do.
Thank you, Mike. And I actually had the pleasure of having Bobby D over the house the other day. My wife and I it was so great. And got to my dog was barking like crazy, but by the time he left, my dog wanted to go with Bobby D and had a little love fest with his leg. But, I've dealt a lot with realtors in the late 90s when the .com crash. I was able to I remember we had just bought a house in the .com crash, and there was a guy putting in a fence in my backyard, and I literally asked him for a job. He's like, "You just bought this beautiful house, and why do you ask?" I said, "The .com crash, the internet's over. I don't know what I'm going to do because I have no education, And he's like, "Are you insane?" And my wife was so great. She said, "Just go upstairs, figure the next thing on the internet." So I actually started marketing to realtors, and they're so inherently cheap. And I get it. I understand why, because they're already in $5,000 before they make a sale. They have to do it all themselves, and they get up on their books and the marketing, and it's such a rat race. So I started selling leads to realtors, and then Wells Fargo was sponsoring the leads. So Wells Fargo, I would back end sell them to Wells Fargo, and they, so it was a big thing. But realtors started saying like, "Hey, I need a website." This is before all realtors now get a free website, whoever they work for.
Right.
So one of the things I realized was I would see realtors, and I would say, I would call them and say, "You need a website," and they'd always never answer the phone. I said, "How could they sell a house for 100, 200,000, 500,000, 5 million and not answer the phone?" If you call a realtor right now, you'd be shocked to find out 80% of the time they don't answer the phone. So I always thought like, wow, I'm just trying to get, $50 a year to market their website, or $1,000 one time to build a website, or $8.99 now. What if I actually answer the phone? How many more can I close? And that's kind of really what made me start saying, just focus on picking the phone up. That's all. People don't want to call and bug you. Sometimes they want to talk about, I have a lot of people that sell dogs, puppies. I always make sure that they're real and they have good reviews, because I want to be some weird puppy farm. But sometimes they'll call and they're just some little lady from the Midwest, and they're literally calling, and they got 10 dogs in the back barking, and they're saying, "Oh, I'm sorry, can you hear me?" And I always say, "Oh, can you call me right back? Or you have to call me back." Or I literally just hear the dogs barking for 10 minutes. And I'm struggling to get through it, but I'm thinking like, what's a customer? You always think of your customer as your mother or your grandmother, because you'll never hang up on them. And you'll never be not patient with them. My mom calls me. She's 84. Last year, my sister and I flew out there. We got her an iPhone. She'll call us. I can't get the ringer on it. The ringer doesn't fit. So what am I going to say? Yell at her and hang up? That's insane. I'll spend 20 minutes when I say, "Mom, it's the button on the side. It's orange." She goes, "It's an orange button. It's supposed to be there." I said, "Push it up. Push it up." Anyway, that's all. So if you want a website that looks 10 times the cost, and if you have a website that someone built for you, it's great, leave it.
All right.
Leave it. Just market it. Get it out there. There's nothing wrong with postcards.
And talking about market, you help with that part too. You're not just a website builder. You help with that stuff. Yes.
Okay. So one of the things I emailed you about, Bob, was so you have SEO, search engine optimization. You have organic. Someone can find you online. If you type in Bucks County website design, I'm number one. I get more leads from that right there. It took me a year to get there, but it's worth it. I get more leads from being number one there than if I spent $500 a month on Google ads, Facebook ads, and Bing ads. And by the way, Bing does cover Yahoo also, because Yahoo doesn't even have their own search engine anymore. It's all run through Bing. And by the way, don't people say, "I just run at Google ads." Well, you're insane, because Bing still gets 1 billion users a month. Wow. And when someone gets when you guys get a new computer, you go to the store and you get a new computer, you buy one from Dell.com, you get a new computer. The first thing you do is you open up. Chrome's not there, right? Firefox is not there, right? Safari will be there if you get an Apple. If you get a Windows computer, like most people do, it will be Microsoft Edge, great browser. It's built on Chrome. Right. Your default browser is Bing, and they make it very difficult to change it to Google. Right. So there are hundreds of millions of people using Bing every day. Wow. Why would you not market to them? That's insane. You can buy the ads from Bing at 1/5 of the cost of Google, and to rank on Bing is so much easier. So website design, Bucks County website, I'm all over the first page. Whereas Google, I'm on the first page, number one, but I plastered the page on so many others.
I did not know that. That's a great point.
Nobody knows that. Nobody, because you always get Google.
These are the things that you're more than a web designer. You're almost like a consultant. You're like a partner with your people. You're in business with them. Am I overstating that?
Well, the thing is, before Synergy, I was really nothing, and that's really what it is. you know, and the synergy really brought me to the elevation I'm at now. And then when I saw this kid, I saw this kid at Domination. He was a left-hander. He started pitching, and that brought me to another level. And then I built a website for a guy in New Jersey, and he had connections. Though he's Italian, we don't want to draw any correlations from another Italian. That brought me to another level, you know. So really, when I get customers, I always just say, look, if you want a website, I have the Synergy Energy and a couple of Italians on my side, both from Jersey, and they go, done. Yeah. So if you want to try Facebook ads, be very careful. Facebook ads, and Facebook owns Instagram. So if you want to try ads, if you watch old Shark Tanks, which are this great show that was how much you spend on Facebook, how much you spend on Instagram. If you want to sell a T-shirt or an item or a phone cover or something like that, ads are good. But usually Facebook, if you don't advertise, will give you a $20, $50 credit for every $20, $50 you spend. And people normally just don't buy from there. Impulse buy, they may buy a T-shirt or this and that. I've done a lot of marketing on Facebook. For me personally, I get a lot of tire kickers. You know, what do you sell? What are your services? I have websites and the SEO. Can you? And these are the messages that I get. Can you tell me your prices? And I send them a link to the prices. Sure, whatever you need. So how much would it be for this? So it's totally described. A lot of people, I don't know if they're lonely people. They don't. Facebook is a great interaction to keep up this, that, but be very careful of marketing because it's the ROI, return on investment, is just not there.
Right.
Google Ads.
I agree with that.
You've done it, right, Mike?
I've done it. You get people that just want to just talk to you sometimes. They don't even want to buy a product, and it's like, you know, do you want to buy something or not? And I'm like, I can't do this. I can't do it.
And I know
I won't do it ever again.
You're an iPad guy. You do everything off the iPad.
Right.
So you're sitting there typing to people, and your time is extremely valuable because who's a better trainer in the world? Nobody. Mike. I mean, obviously, you know. And Rick Drayson was the guy training Arnold Schwarzenegger for 4 years. He passed away last year. Good friend of mine. Rick Drayson, Mike Hurley. That's Rick Drayson was actually a guy because I was in the acting business for a minute. He was the guy, the Demi Hulk. Remember when the TV show,
The Hulk, with Lou Ferrigno,
right? When they crossed over from David Banner to Lou Ferrigno, he was the Demi. He was the in between.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and he actually designed the Gold's Gym logo. And then when Joe Gold went into World's Gym, he said, hey, could you do it again? World's Gym. So he designed both logos. The guy literally lived the rest of his life off selling those. How cool is that?
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing.
Good friend of mine, and I have a website and did marketing for him too.
So website, Dan.com, that's where people go to reach you.
Right. And you actually get 125% discount if you mention either Mike or Bobby.
125%.
125% off, and I'll give you 10 free websites if you mention this show, but it has to be the free ones. Because I'm a narcoleptic, so I'm going to fall asleep in about 3 seconds.
That's great.
You know what it was? And all that I spent 17 years old to 25. A lot of daytime TV, and I did a movie with that Cobra Kai. That's the new big movie, the TV show on Netflix. You know,
yes,
Martin Cove, and I played. I did these low budget action movies. Remember, it was Seagal and Van Damme. Those were all the rage. So there's a lot of low budget. When I say low budget, they're $2 to $5 million range.
Yeah.
So, you know, they'd have idiots like me at the time. I'm 6'6", and I was all juiced up. Even at 23 years old, never in the shape of Mike Hurley. Boy, if I had been a trainer, I would have been the best. And if I had
such a wise
supplements, boy, Jesus Christ, I'd have been Arnold Schwarzenegger. But one of the roles I had was Landis's bodyguard or henchman, and that was Martin Cove. So, you know, I would make scale at the time. I think it was $5.25 a day on a union gig, which was a thrill because all I needed to do was buy food and pay rent. But Martin Cove on this, he was always complaining about this low budget movie we did. he was getting $65,000 every 5 days. The guy cannot remember his lines, but he was the nicest guy in the world. So I don't know what he's getting now, but that was, in 93. So I used to always think like, and I would bounce at nightclubs at night and this and that. I was like, if I can be in control of my own destiny, wow, that would be the greatest thing in the world. And the reason I got into the internet is my wife, who was my girlfriend at the time, we're living in Florida, running this huge nightclub for some rich people in Florida that I met in Los Angeles when I was running clubs. We had 2,000, 3,000 people a night, but it was their club. And they got all the money. They had rented me a nice beachfront property and got me a nice Jeep Cherokee at the time, which was all the rage. I had a neat Harley, but I had no money in the bank. And they said, "Oh, we would take care of you." Take care of you for what? I had no money and nothing, Right. And I said, if I can make $200 a day off this new thing that I saw come online, internet. I learned the internet only because I would have to send them Excel spreadsheets back in Arizona from Florida of the club. If I can make $200 a day, even $150 a day, I'd be the happiest guy in the world to work for myself. And that's what I said. So we actually, my wife and I actually, girlfriend at the time, my wife and I have been together for 25 years, married for 25 years. We moved to Arizona to open another club for them. And it's that story. Remember the guy placed tiny classified ads?
Yeah.
Remember that guy? So it makes big fortunes. We actually, what's that?
Don Lepre, right?
It's Don Lepre actually, unfortunately, ended up killing himself. But he was running all these scans. But you'd see these things back. This is the mid 90s, and people say, if you could place a tiny classified ad and make $5 an ad. And I thought, well, Jesus, if I can make a website and not place a tiny classified ad and get advertising. So my wife and I were living in this 1-bedroom apartment in Arizona. We're living on a futon, and we had a TV, a broken TV for the nightclub, and a working TV on top of it. And we just had a sheet over it. So people said, like, "Oh, well, how did you start? Oh, you're so lucky." Lucky, I was broke. I was broke. My father lost his business at 14. We lost our house at 15. Broke. I mean, broke. 19, I was homeless, sleeping on his friends' couches. So this is me now at 26, living in a 1-bedroom apartment, basically just still struggling to get along, waiting to open the next nightclub for these rich guys that flew private jets. And I said, I'm going to bank on myself. So within a year, I put 100,000. I took out every credit card I could in my name and her name, every credit card, and I put $100,000 on credit cards into advertising, into banking on myself.
Wow.
Because if you can't bank on yourself, who can you bank on?
Right.
Who can?
Great.
Right. I can't be any worse off than I am. Here I am, I'm getting to be no longer a kid. I'm almost a man. I'm coming up to my 30 years old, and in a couple of years, and I go, what am I going to do? Go bounce in nightclubs, be a cool actor? This is ridiculous. I had no money in the bank. None. I said, so at first I got a $5,000 credit card. Oh, this is the greatest thing in the world. Back then they're passing out credit cards like candy.
Yeah.
My wife had decent credit, so this and that. And I said, boy, if we could do this. So that's how I started. No money, no backing. I did get backing about 10 years ago, my real estate site. It was Click and Build. I have tiptopwebsite.com, which Bob and Mike, about.
Yep.
Click and Build. It's like Wix before Wix. And I had a Realty Drive, which I still have, which I don't use anymore. But in 2004, that was #1 real estate website building company. And I put about, this was quite a few years after I started the internet, maybe $125,000, $130,000 on my credit cards to promote that, buying ads and buying SEO and working SEO. And I was living in Arizona, and we had this nice house, and I worked in the garage and put an air conditioning unit out there because my wife would come out and she's like, "You're passing out. The computer's shut off. It was so hot." You have to push yourself. You have to push. So I was working 16, 18 hours a day. I'd work till 4 o'clock in the morning, and then I'd sleep for 2 hours. The kids would wake up, give a kiss before they go to school, and I'd sleep, and then they come home, and then I'd play with them, and then work. When you have the energy, you're young, you have do it. You're insane. The kids nowadays think, oh, I work 40 hours a week. You'll never make it. 50 hours a week, you'll never make it. Mike, I talked to you, and I was thinking, like, I didn't even ask Bob why we can't do the show in the morning, because I know you work till 8, 9 o'clock at night. And I know when you're done working, you get in a treadmill for an hour after all that, training people, And Bob, you came over the other day and usually charge $250 an hour to be my friend, and I'd charge you $1,000 because my dog kept pumping you. And you know how hard you guys work, but no one gets it. This whole cancel this and cancel that. Do not talk politics. When someone calls you about business, they said, "Oh, Trump or Biden," don't answer. The best thing to say is, "I work so much, I don't follow through."
That's what I've been saying. That's what I've been saying lately.
Were you okay?
That's what I said.
Yeah, because you're going to lose half your customers either way, whatever you are. You can mention Elon Musk as a genius and he has alien secrets, which he probably does, but and as far as crypto goes, there's an old saying. So when we lived in Arizona, we lived in Scottsdale, and we met some, it was basically like when I lived in Beverly Hills. So I lived in Beverly Hills. I lived in people's guest houses because I didn't have the money, but Scottsdale was very much like that because the real estate boom happened. A lot of people would sell their house for $5 million in California, and they buy $1 million house in Scottsdale, and then they would tell you for the rest of their life how much money they had in the bank. But when the real estate boom was happening in Arizona, this was early 2000s, you would go out for a drink and the bartender would say, "I just bought 7 condos. I'm going to make a fortune." And literally they would say that. And I love bartenders because my wife was a waitress forever. I worked as a bouncer, off and on for almost 10 years. So not knocking it. But when a bartender tells you you bought 7 condos, run. Yeah. So the kid down the street said about 6 months ago, "Hey, Mr. Doherty, you ever heard of crypto? I'm going all in." I knew it was time to get out. So I'm not smart. I just listened to everyone else and look at their patterns. Yeah. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Just, you could make money in crypto. Yeah, you can. You could lose most of it. Get yourself a website. Mike works for himself. Bobby works for himself. There's no better showing on Facebook than this. Mike Zuckerberg's going to probably want a piece of this. That's what it is. Mike, what's that picture of you? You there? What is it?
It's me and my daughter.
His daughter.
Me and my daughter.
Nothing better than the beach, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Mike,
that's my little girl.
Mike,
how old?
Two.
Fucking nothing better than family. Nothing
better family. That's
I'm
it.
trying to talk about your 2 sons. He's
Nothing.
got a son studying to be a lawyer, Danny, and his other son Blake is in the Navy. 2 good-looking, shredded badasses, most respectful dudes you'll ever meet, and his wife is beautiful. This guy's got the whole package. He went from where he did from nothing. He's got a big, beautiful home in Pennsylvania, probably worth, I don't know.
Don't sue me. I don't own it.
Hey, listen. Hey, Bob, listen. I know you introduced me to Dan, but he never invited me out to Pennsylvania ever.
Oh, you are,
Listen, I'm afraid to work out in front of you because I always think I'm such a badass. I work out in front of you. The tears are coming. You start laughing at me.
Very good point.
Never.
You're always welcome here, my brother. Always.
I know. I'm just busting.
You know what it is? You're too good looking. You're too good of a shape. I just feel very meek in front of you. But my wife and I did not go to college. She did. When I met her, she was in college to be a physical therapist. I'm like, you're not fucking touching guys. What is this fucking shit? This 25-year-old moron. She's just to me, my wife's the most beautiful thing in the world. And I said, I want to, fix people's shoulders. I'm like, Jesus Christ, fucking masseuse, fuck this shit. Hindsight, physical therapist is the greatest fucking job in the world. She should have done it. I'm like, you're out of college. Fuck this shit. So she actually, before we had kids, we'd work 12-hour shifts. I'd work 12 hours a day, and then she'd work 12 hours. We worked 24 hours a day for about 2 years on the internet before we had kids. But we said, we have kids, we have to push education. We have to, because it's this amount of people. Maybe I can't even push my fingers that close so you can see it on camera. that are entrepreneurs, true entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
Right.
So if you didn't have a paper as a kid, if you didn't sell, I sold cinnamon toothpicks as a kid in Jolly Ranchers. Cinnamon toothpicks kids would just suck on all day for 5 cents. And mine were the good ones because I'd soak them, didn't dilute them with water, 5 cents. And I figured they cost about 1.50 cents. And Jolly Ranchers and Starburst, because those were long lasting. If you didn't sell that and have 2 paper outs, you're not an entrepreneur. You're just
Hey,
not.
I had my paper out, Daily News,
Of course.
Daily News. And I
Right,
hated waking up in the morning time. 5
you
o'clock
loved
in the
it.
morning, inserting the papers and going to deliver the papers.
You know what? It's funny you would say you inserted the ads. And
Yeah, insert the ad.
how many assholes, you can swear on this, I don't even care if you can't.
Yeah, we
I'm
all
going
can
to.
swear.
How many people do you know threw away the ads, did not insert them?
Yeah.
Oh, Sunday ads were the worst because they were the biggest ones.
Right, but
yeah,
I'd
we did
always
every
put
day.
them in. I'd always put them in, and I put it on their fucking doorstep. You know why?
All the time.
Maybe at the end of the month you get $1 tip. Well,
Dollar tip, $1.25. You were happy with 25 cents to a 50 cent. You were happy.
Right, but if you get $40 a month in 7th grade,
I know.
oh,
I know.
it was like $1 million.
Yeah.
And
I had to deliver. One of my routes was delivering to all the senior citizen buildings. They were the worst. Love them, but they would give you a nickel.
They'd squeeze your cheek.
And I'm like, oh, you're so cute. I'm like, yeah, but I want your money.
They hand you a meatball like in the movie.
I'm like, what's going on?
But years ago, when the internet had slowed down a little bit, I'm like, maybe the kids are getting ready to go to college. Maybe I'll see if I can find a job. No one's gonna hire me. No, I'm not gonna get a job. But I had a recruiter call me. I put my resume online, and a recruiter called me and goes, hey, I called because I'm actually going to school to be an entrepreneur. How are you an entrepreneur? And I said, ask your parents to get the money back from the school.
Yeah.
Take that money and start your own business. But I thought about it for about 2 seconds. And I'm like, this is insane. So I literally just started. I said, I'll just keep doing what I'm doing. Because you always think the grass is greener, and you think about that. I don't think about it anymore. But when the kids were getting ready to go to college, thinking maybe I can do this, and set up with health. And you work for yourself. You got to buy your own health insurance and so on and so forth. There's things. The reason why people get jobs, they're going to pay you 1/5 of what you can make on your own, 1/10, 1/20. They just are. My cousin Mike that I won on the show today, he junior college education, electronical genius. His dad was in the NSA and sold a lot of electronical stuff to the government. Took his business from about $5 million a year when his dad retired to $13 million. Sold it for $13 million. He worked 80 hours a week. He's 54 now, having a tough time getting a job.
Yeah.
No, because I talked to recruiters. He goes, "Who's going to hire me? He's going to get a job for $110,000 a year. He's looking tomorrow. Who's going to hire him? They're afraid that he's going to take the person that's hiring their job. He's going to take the CEO's job.
Right.
Work for yourself. If you don't work for yourself, work for someone else. Remember growing up as IBM, those guys with the white shirts and black ties? That was the dream, right? They pay him $50,000 a year. They have stock options. They match your retirement. That'd be phenomenal. So that's back to my kids. We told my kids, education. So Kumon, you guys heard of Kumon?
No.
The Japanese.
Yeah.
You have?
Yeah. Yes, I have. Yep.
Yeah, Japanese learning. So
Yep.
we were living in Scottsdale after school one day. We went to this little private schools because the public schools are so bad, only because of the taxes are so low, which is a great thing. So we went to this little private school, and all these people had a lot more money than I had. One of the guys was a doctor. And after school, I said, well, let's have a play date with the kids. He said, all my kids have to go to Kumon. I said, what's that? He goes, oh, they go to school after school. He goes, what are you talking about? It's Kumon, it's Japanese learning. So they do reading, writing, and arithmetic. And they do these little packets. So they master a packet, and then when they're done with the packet, they go in the next packet. And they're done with that one, they go back to the other one and do it again. It's just repetition over and over and over and over.
Yeah.
So my kids each did it for about 5.5 years. So school to them was easy, literally easy, because they're going to school. And they did this year round on top of school. So you have little kids, put them in Kumon. When we moved here, they have a Kumon here. And my wife finally stopped because they hated it. They hated it after 5.5 years. So he said education, 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 because they weren't entrepreneurs as far as paper houses, stuff like that. They also they work a million times harder than I ever did in school. But through that, my son got into Boston College, and now he's at Georgetown Law on the dean's list. He's at the John Mayer concert tonight. So awesome. I started asking him advice, like I don't know, even when he was little, I asked him advice. And he's the guy that I was showing website. What do you think of this website? He's got a real good graphics eye. Yeah, this is awesome. Change this font. And like I said, my online profile, he's like on my About Me page, like, I got to rewrite this for you. You're like a third grade education as far as writing goes, you know? And then my other son was actually accepted to Boston College. But the Naval Academy called him for baseball. He played with Joey. So he played 1 year there, and the COVID, this and that, and just he's not playing anymore. And he's having a great college life, but he wants to, he wants to do all these wonderful things and be Jason Bourne and all that stuff. And he started. Let's see, I spent probably 16 years in karate, and I did a lot of competitive stuff. Trained with world-class guys. My son in the Naval Academy comes and just fucking kicks my ass. just piece of shit. He fucking brings his leg up, throws it over my head, brings it down, says, "Dad, I could have taken your face off, but I love you." So, and he's studying quantitative economics. He wanted to study history like my other son. And I said, well, math comes so easy. Math comes easy to some people. And it doesn't. I said, math comes easy. Why don't you study it? So now he's like, yeah, I'm doing stats. And I don't know. I took this up in high school as a junior now at the academy. So in my next life, I want to be them. That's all it is. That's all it is. And
kids are awesome.
Yeah, we're extremely fortunate. I give 99% credit to my wife. She push education. Like I'd be like, hey, let's go in the backyard and play catch. Hey, let's go to the driving range. Hey, let's go go skiing. This and that. And my wife's like, you gotta do homework. Oh, I'll do it tomorrow. She's like, don't do it. So she lays the law, as you well know, Bob. Mike, you meet her. Right. She's Italian. Like I married one of the good ones, like you guys.
You did it all, brother. I appreciate you waking up today. Come on.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
This is great.
Listen,
websitedan.com, the best in the business.
Yeah, if you guys do reach out to me for that, feel free to email me, Dan at Website Dan, for any free advice. I'm happy to give free advice. But if you do reach out to me, just mention that you guys referred me, and I'll give you guys a little discount, and I'll buy some more Synergy, because I just when I stopped drinking, the thing is, if I had Verve, I can't. If I had Verve in my system, in Synergy,
and Proargin, you'd be a.
And if I had Proargin, there really would be no reason for sleeping, because I actually go to a longevity center in Tampa. I do online, and I ask them. I say, like, Proargin and Synergy, and even Verve, I used to ask them out, and they said, you know what? And it's all pharmaceutical based, the stuff I use. And they said, don't mention that around us, because we can't fuck with those companies. Even our pharmacists cannot get the quality of Synergy and Proargin. They can't.
That is the truth.
That's the truth. Hey, Bob, I hope you talked about the story. Still resonates with me when you were out in Colorado with your friend, the ex-cop.
Yeah.
That's a great story. And that really, my wife is a lifelong, she's over 20 years of severe rheumatoid arthritis, severe. And she takes 2 shots a week of Enbrel and a lot of medicine. So stuff like that, don't be scared of it. I mean, look at these guys. I mean, the Incredible Hulk, that's right there. Incredible Stud, right there. I mean, listen, they're not passing out trips to the Caribbean for nothing,
Love you, Dan. You're the best.
Dan, great night. I'm actually going to be calling you later on this week, because I got to take care of some stuff on my phone.
An absolute pleasure, gentlemen.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much, Dan.
Thanks.
Okay. Michael, talk soon, my brother.
Awesome talk this week, Mr. Bobby D.
Good session. Good to get Dan in. There's a lot of fun stuff that he won't let us talk about, but that's understandable. He had some fun in his days.
Oh, I know it.
Can you visualize the early days?
Oh my God! Open up nightclubs. Open up nightclubs.
6'6", right?
6'6". Open up nightclubs. Oh my God. You didn't have to have money.
No, great story.
Oh, God.
Good show, brother. Appreciate your input.
Great.
Let's get together next week. All right.
Sounds great, Bob D.
Love you, brother.
Peace.